Warahmatullahi wabarakatuhu na Uganda nkula musaka era nkubuzaako amacyago gali gatya obulamu butambula butya era nga nkimanyi buli omu embeera gyalimu ayina waalira buli omu ayina waagira buli omu waali walabira omusana nenga nywera okuba nti nkugumya nti tobaako nakweraliikirira bina bijja kuba nti bitereera weekwasa Mungu ajja kuba nti akumalira ensonga zonna. Tali nkataga emmanya program the sharp talk nokuna vutamu ebyatuuse edda era nga munyumba mwali otabani w'omugenzi Yowaana Mirundi mama wonde namatovu mama nkulamusa era nga nyongera okusabira atamani sanitizer we ye munna era ongera okubanga tubajjukiza nti bannange nanga mpadde bannange twongera okuba nti no twekuuma ekirwadde COVID-19 mu ggwanga mwakyalimu abakusobola okunyuma tugende twegemese era tusobola okubanga tugende twegemese twerinde ekirwadde kuba nawookera mu ggwanga akyalimu era osobola okuba nti nogomwe nyini social distance sigala ng'ogikeepinga abaana baze ku masomero tubeere sobola okuba nti banne tuteekawo kajjanja abazadde obuti omwana ku ssomero tugenda kuba tulinyirirayo buli kaseera tubaleke abaana basobola okuba nenga bingi ebitambula mu tugenda kuba tubatuusaako amawulire mangi ebintu bingi ebitambula mu ggwanga tulaba amafuta gabuuza amafuta gafuusa otufuta tulaba amasomero kati badduse na mu kkooti balakuba nti bagamba nti ebisale by'amasomero birinnye waliwo omuzadde yagambye nti yagenze ku ssomero mugamba nti ate olina okuwa n'emitwalo ebiri ku etaano gya sako tikyazisako ekiri Uganda bana ekifumba mutuku wamu n'okubanga era bakyali kubaga n'empaka ku baana abalina embuto banaasoma tebasome n'ensonga era y'okuba abaana bayokeza wamu n'okuba nti Kampala yafuuse Kampala kyali kuba nti otukizibwa kuba nti tunira ku makubo wamu n'okuba ebintu si byangu muzeyi Tamale okuyita e Kampala okugeza kuba nti wamu n'omukulu Sseggenya Alan Ssewonya ne bagamba nti bana yeni yupi mutusuliridde mwagaza kumakolayo kamuko kamwe kalakasa nimfuma parliament temuddangamu entalo nyingi ziri mwene yupi ya NP gama nti tukyali wamu n'okubanga Uganda ndazemo kubanza zitesaganya katandikira muzeyi Tamale nyatandike n'ensonga ya mafuta batandikira fuel crisis mufuta gafusa mafuta
andi kakati mwe kibakola obubi somebody came to me nangamba nti once write a book about history, the history of Uganda. Well, different from other earlier books. The book you will end up writing is the same. Why? History is the same.
Okay.
Uganda have not independence.
1962.
9
October.
Kati oli kikyusa oti.
Tosobola kikyusa.
Kakati agenda okukyusamu yagamba. Why did we get independence?
On such a day.
Twali bakwefuka mu February. Koti n'ayagala akonsaidinge n'emmengo Buganda
luyalangirira. Okay.
Yefuze. Baba DP abali baba secretary ruli.
Okay.
Kakati a historian ekyo takimanyi. You must be a political scientist. History is a recording, a political science is the analyzing events. Ati ebintu ebisinga obungi mukoma ku symptoms.
Yes, tutukola ku kinyusi kyennyini.
Reason. Let us look one for oil. Fuel prices.
Yes.
Why didn't we have fuel prices during the lockdown?
The lockdown.
Two issues. One, many vehicles were impounded. The only remaining vehicles would use, even if we did not import.
Agalo galigamala. Okay.
Because the purpose for fuel had been reduced.
Yali wansi nnyo.
But the president stressed one thing. We must ensure that trucker drivers enter Uganda.
True. Bukyali.
And the president said that he gave a number of, as usual, is not sort of solutions. Yatuuka nuga abatambule n'emmere yaabwe. Mubateeke mu gazetted
areas. Yes.
Mubakebere egundi COVID muba monitoring we musanga results to the inflow
ebirenge sigalenge aweri
neighboring countries. If now the economy is opened now, how come that you have a
fuel crisis? Nze Tamale abavuga taxi bagamba they complain nti sente ezobakebera COVID-19 ku borders ziri waggulu era balabiddwa ku ng'emmotoka biri kilometers nga 40 bipakinze.
Where did the Museveni who was very friendly to the trucker driver
mu lockdown kati yabuliddewa
nabagamba nti mu gavumenti ya Museveni mumwe sabotage.
Lockdown yali fende gye bali. N'abantu bayitawo bulungi nnyo nga bwe baagala.
And what they are doing, we are going through. When you have a strong opposition and you have an old president, mubeera bulungi. Tukiyita bipolar.
A strong opposition,
yes.
An old president.
Nobody more opposition, the government, make sure that they don't become orphans. What have the Tanzanians done? Omukazi bw'alemeddewo n'atategeera nti Omuzanzibaali omusiraamu nga mukazi nga tavudde mu mainland nga Kikwete tasobola kuba bwekyo bamukoze Tanzania balina political maturity. Speaker avudde mu government n'agenda mu opposition. Yes. Kakati as we approach the elections, this woman, it will dawn on this woman bajjamu tugamutana. Okay. If we sponsor you, are you more important than Chama cha Mapinduzi? Because if we sponsor you, Chama cha Mapinduzi will be defeated.
Will be defeated, true.
Although, on Chama Mapinduzi yafudde but we cannot form Chama Mapinduzi A and Chama Mapinduzi B.
Tekisoboka.
Omukazi ajja kuvaamu.
Ibo kiri.
Bw'anaagala bamukubaka.
Bajja kuba bukubi.
Chama Mapinduzi akole ki? Aluzinge. The issue of Chama cha Mapinduzi cannot end. Bayinza n'okutta. Gwe ligasa gye bali bakipinze. Ate gwe kyetuyina. Opposition teriiwo.
Wano mu Uganda.
Kano tukayita kazu. The battle is inside the palace. Naye nga mu palace namwe mulimu eyazimbamu gavumenti eyiye. Kyova olaba naye alina swings zaakola bw'ati.
The government within the government.
Mulimu ezi. Nti ono ekyokubiri I wonder, where is the intelligence issue? Why are we reactive like a fire brigade, not preemptive?
For tukola ibintu bimaze kukola ki?
Fire brigade
methods.
Nti when did we ever have this shortage?
Eyamafuta. Twabirako ne shortage eno Kenya byabirako mu kalulu waawo ne bekalakasa ne bagala yes.
Kakati lwaki eno tukiyina? A political science like me, I tell you, this question of trucker drivers that it did not arise at the time nga is manufactured by the subterfuge.
Mzee Tamale, kyogeza ko gamba nti ensonga nengaga otwala kusukali bwe yabulirako nga bamuhodinze.
Yes. And
it's one. Okay.
Two, nabagamba, they have written a book why Uganda should prepare for a Raila Odinga presidency. Nembaganda Museveni inexcessive. Museveni suffers from the Lucifer theory. Lucifer theory dictates that a person you have helped in the past pays you badly in the future.
Gonyegere yali kusambya.
Yes. President Kagame, one would say, Bava one.
Bwekiri.
If they had Obote had expelled the Rwandese, Obote Yagamba, having kept this Rwanda for 50 years, is it impolite to tell them politely to go back home? They were saved by Museveni. Why? They joined the rebel ranks.
Okay.
Otherwise, they would have fled to Tanzania and Congo, where they wouldn't get access to arms to go back. How have they paid us? The border is close.
Now close to 3 years.
I remember when we went to the by-election, Wambabas, Negaluga, President Yatuko Gamba Abantu, Timuve Mabega, Mumbolizi, why they are not going to vote in Babas? Mumboli Tabeda Otaka, Museveni said, Timumonzi Jako. This is the presidential material. What happened Kati Raila Odinga yadduka Kenya nga muyamusibi yadduka kamiti nayingira amaziga ga Kenya. Immediately crossed into our waters, he was escorted. He was received by Major General Muhwezi in Uganda, given a house here. We almost went to war with Moi, demanding that Raila should go back. Museveni refused. Museveni said, I made a mistake. of returning 3 people to their home country, which is not named, will never do it again. They are killed. We gave Raila safe passage, nagenda mu Nordic countries. Tatuwagalira kodda.
Okay.
Kakati we must prepare. There are allegations into supporting Ruto, and that Ruto has established radio stations in Uganda.
Those are not allegations. Ruto ajja waneno
Kakati we move mu kalulu. You know, paralyzing the financial mass of your enemy, of your opponent. This is why enough of Tubera mu Uganda. Centers of Bobby Wine in opposition to the Remisa.
Okuyingira eggwanga. Kituufu.
Kakana bano bakimanyi. If it is true that Ruto has the fuel companies
mu Uganda wanene,
you will make money here.
Azikose mu kalulu.
Bakukuba.
That is on number 2. Yeso twagirabyeko waliwo ali mu government yakola ki
agizanyira
kati endeyo kubiri mulimu erimu odinga politics we Kenya
tayagala Museveni.
Okay
bakitegeera if you want Museveni not to interfere in your domestic affairs, create
troubles for him,
domestic trouble
abeera solving troubles abe mu kigo
abe kugwe.
Okay.
Ekyo tukikola take the problem the water to your enemy's door.
Abirenga ya afana bibye yana nabyo bigenda kukola ku
biki ayina kuyingira mu campaign yo
kutegeera,
but when he is comfortable
ngafanya kimusumbuwa
kakati kankubuli if you have NRM people who are not opposed 10 kitegeeza they can be a problem
yes true
eriyo wabwe tebabeerayo batawanya constituencies endala
kuba ayamanyi eno yayitamu kangene nonya akeri.
Yes is why previously we were electing the president first. Netugenda muki?
Netugenda mu parliament.
Which was profitable.
Yeah.
Once you lose the presidency, you can stand as an MP. If you fail to stand as an MP, Bobi Wine would be in parliament. Kubanga ba president wali bulemi.
Yabada jabuzi wano ku parliament. Yes.
Kati bagamba after electing the president influences the subsequent elections. They lost. Eyali badde kansala bakumye obwemu pibeera
kansala kituufu
n'ebironde badde
olunaku lumu
kakati you lose.
True.
So bwe nkugamba ti abasajja b'e Kenya bali bagamba ti create domestic problems for him. Nabagamba why did Rwanda close the border near the elections? Abanyarwanda bangi bannayuganda balondera wano n'amaka gaabwe. Rwanda is the follow era nabagamba nti at one time the two countries would emerge or one of them would dominate the other. Kubanga the follow back position of the follow back state of the Banyarwanda, the Tutsis, is where?
In Uganda.
If it took the Tutsis 50 years to go back to Rwanda, it can take the Hutus 100 years, but they will go back to Rwanda. How can you have a country where 40% of your population tell me they are in the diaspora?
Tell me Gwanga wao. 40%?
Yes. Ngabali mweke zaidi.
So alarming.
Planning to go back. Well, it will be vice versa. Gaddafi yaleta ekiteeso ne bamuyita musiru. Gaddafi yagamba timudira abatuusi bagende Burundi. Mudira abakutu abali e Burundi bakole ki?
Bajje Rwanda.
Amawanga. A Hutu nation
and a Tutsi nation.
They did not look into Gaddafi's as good.
By the way, bade kiyamba.
But they are different. Kati nga mu Baganda Umurundi ayina ebiteego Omunyarwanda talina. They can be different.
Yes.
So nkugamba nti mi kati ezo zisulia factors. If we have soldiers in Congo, does Uganda have the practice of having oil reserves? I mean yayina reserves ejjinja nga za myezi 6.
Nga nebero kwasiza mwezi mukali tusiga tukola
kubanga buli lwazibanga Suez Canal nga abawala balona n'abayisraeli tetufuna mafuta. So countries started storing oil.
Okay.
Ate nga ne consumption yali ntono nnyo. I mean yayina reserves ejjinja nga za myezi 6. I mean yayina silos ebyaji bya government bya muntu kati
zaddawa.
These were the silos in Jinja were a donation of the Italian government. Bya muntu. kakati mumugere ne mugamba mubere n'ebyaji. Where is the charge for government?
The government
tell me peasant to have a charge. Where is your charge?
The government ndabira kuchi.
Nga katola bafa abashiriki. Abashiriki mubeera n'ensawo n'ebibbo nekimuteekamu ssente. Singa osanga ng'olina strategy ya ssente weewolamu is a local bank naye tezikulabya ennyanja.
Leka naawe mwewolamu nozaayo
is a bank.
Muteekemu n'amagoba.
Bajja bakuteramu interest. Yes. Kibaba nti kakati ngufu abagagga temuli 100. Mazike gokka. Izo kwata milioni 10 nozeewolamu. Muba wa interest mu kifo ky'okugenda abafere bakubbi. I'm telling you. Where is it? Do we have these practice of having, because they say NRM does not believe in wastage. Even the Minister of Disaster Preparedness does not have a budget. When we have a disaster, we can collect money from other ministries and we solve a problem. We cannot keep money there. Where scarcity. But you should know this in the state. A state must have reserves. Why do we have reserves? How do I paralyze these people? Abali Congo. Amajega
abagari Congo.
Deny them fuel.
Ariba na research
naliwo bamuteka kuwo public
ekoleki
ekabe
ekyatusedda olabanga abantu bagula mafuta kati petro ali ku mutalo gw'omwezi 2
ensi yamwe yetayina basajja batuula kubala
banalizinga bitunga bibiri
kati abafere bo banoonya kukibbiramu abafere bo banoonya kukibbiramu.
Okay.
So when we sit down, the reason why I can talk of I can be hosted on several
media platforms and houses.
Mine are not reactive. Mine are lectures, not talk shows.
Yeah.
Lectures.
Yeah.
To tickle your mind. If the president had ensured, even when we did not need much oil, because most of the vehicles were taxis were public vehicles, only government vehicles. But Museveni ensured that there was uninterrupted flow. Aba National Task Force batugamba nti ku ssente ze bakozesa kamulege yayisoka naye wanudde bajja bayola basajja mmwe. Because it's not me who is documenting. Many people are documenting. National Task Force. Some of the money has been allocated to buy a modern testing machine at the borders. Where is it? Come here. Your machine is what?
But let's have it.
There will be a emputa bwebera mu nnyanja etomera amaato g'abavubi naye tumanye nti amaato geetomera zembaawo kwe bali gitemera negikumako omuliro
zembaawo zigenda okozesebwa.
Emputa is preparing his firewood. It knocks boats, canoes of fishermen. But every canoe knock out, the emputa knocks out, becomes a firewood. And ekimeza kwe bagitemera. Kakati the Kamulegeyas, I saw Kamulege and his team. Kamulege special, telling us that some of the money that we have collected at the National Task Force has been used to establish a fast testing machine at the borders. Kamulege, Mr. Kamulege.
Where is the machine?
Where is the machine?
But truck drivers.
There will be a time of accountability.
But truck drivers bagamba nti Kenya testing zikolebwa ku bwereere ate free cost ne Uganda ate bolo charge sente ate mpitirivu ate buli mulungi
ate kitegeere because these people are operating out of business acumenship ebyabwe bya kifere bo tebakusuubula tebakola ki monopolism. Do you think nti a truck in fact gamba buli it reveals that there is a sinister motive because usually it is a consumer who pays. Fuel will have been increased in Uganda, but available.
Yeah.
These taxi trucks drivers and the companies will tell you that because of the cost of vaccination in Uganda, we have increased the price of transport. What about the rail we have been talking about? The standard gauge rail. Where is it? Where is Uganda rail? Where is it? And do you believe that the Kenyans were happy for you to divert the pipeline to Tanzania?
They were not.
And then they borrowed the money in the preparation of this. That's why I have no appetite to do a PhD.
Professor.
And the only university I know is Simakerere. I have an appetite to do a PhD in Makerere.
What?
A professor of mathematics in Juba University. When Southern Sudan attained independence, they looked at the oil. There was the pipeline through Khartoum. The Baganti Atubala. Bashir Bulirita Efuruma Ajibala. So he knows our revenue and what he will tax us.
Okay.
This professor of mathematics in Juba University was assigned to look for an alternative. The man said, when we take the Ethiopian route, waliwo akasozi akali steep tujja kwetaagisa obi tractor ebisika amafuta n'akalikyulating amafuta
agenda okozesebwa okusika bitwake bigenda okozesebwa okusika ebigundi ebiri eri.
He looked at the Kenyan route and he preferred the Kenyan route. Where have we benefited from these professors?
Batubalirako ffe nti omujumite Tanzania
on paper. Even the man who has liberated the health fraternity, the medical fraternity, alimu herbs, alimu miti, ajirima buli mikati.
Mzee Tamale, minister awebugagane b'emuttaka yavudde Lucy Nankabirwa. Lucy ajamoka nkunyonyola. Lucy Nankabirwa yavudde n'aga nti abo n'abatunda mafuta baleme kuba nti bongeze ebbeeyi y'amafuta era n'akwatibwako wakuvunaanwa. Baleme kusa chance eno kuba nti babba bannayuganda.
Nze kyembasekererako. Nankabirwa yasoma masters mu conflict resolution. Naye tebamuyita takambaningangako president ku conflict zonna zagenzeeko. She has a masters
in conflict resolution.
Let me tell you, as an economist, a liberalized economy, it is demand and supply. You cannot get a gun to shoot prices. No.
Yes.
Prices even tezikubwaji.
Tezikuba masasi nti yeah.
Kakati let us see. Enteta inamata ojikuba emigga yonse nyana yayo
tekisoboka era bategalina.
If these people do not have a shortage, that's why they don't correspond. Before this woman is talking about hoarding, yes, would be sensible if she's talking about hoarding. But if we had a well-organized government, the Minister of Energy would have corresponded with the Minister of Health before he talks.
Okay.
The Prime Minister would know, he's a coordinator. What's the problem? The problem is these issues of vaccination.
What a company ekebera amafuta agayingira.
The intelligence yalibadema yikati kankubuli. To me, when I see soldiers removing Batembe on the streets, that means they have suspected terrorist attacks in Kampala. That's what I do. I go early. Ndaba omuserikale akutte submachine gun. Nenda bayinena abaganda gye bayita kawana. Ene ina amasasi ageetoloola. Ngabatembe. That's not a Butembe issue. It has gone beyond the Kampala State Council. The military, the intelligence has received the information that we are likely to have a terrorist attack. To reduce casualties, the military comes in. When I see soldiers patrolling the streets of Kampala, ostensibly for Batembe, it's not Batembe, a knowledgeable man like me. ntegeera waliwo like explosion it can happen because these people are strategic. As you attack them in Congo,
okay,
bayinza okukoma nekoni yakikolako President Museveni sekiwadi pamisiri from Khartoum Operation Iron Fist. The moment our soldiers entered the southern Sudan, Kony attacked it, Soroti, Karamoja, and Zimbabwe. And people are saying, we're asking the president in the press conference, why are we going there? Museveni said, okuba obulo oconcentrating kubungi kuno bumasikoja buja. They are trying to divert him. Era bamukula we balira sente Amuru boys Netherlands. The soldiers did not return. They are not diverted from the main issues. Kakati, this is the Ruins Road.
Okay.
You can enter from Bondibujo, you can enter from Kasese. These have been never been kuma katambi echiro. Oyo musajja gobogera Baruku na yemu
akulira NDA.
Banonya. Baruku yali mukutta nacho, mukupulani ngokutta nacho.
Are you serious?
I'm telling you. Baruku yali mu meeting. Yes, and he shared some of the money.
Okay.
Kakati when you talk about Baruku, Baruku has been a sheikh one muzikiti. Ikitegeza abadda moving. In fact, the people in Kasese, we are seeing Baruku ni donning military uniforms.
Okay.
Ekitegeza kakati bali mobile. Bayinza kukola ekintu kyekimu.
Obeera nga bonga bayitoola bayiteeri.
Kakati the military tejja kubuulira. But when I see excessive force mu kugoba abatembeeyi ku street, mba ntegedde.
Waliwo kyebataakiriza.
Bayinza okuba nga baagala tupulantinga mu bbomu mu Kampala. Silent tell you Mutembeyi, get off. This is not the use of Mutembeyi. Akule kaluli, no kolera Christmas, katambula okolechi.
Oveo.
Ye analysis.
Before we go to Mutembeyi, field questions to Jimari in sort of Yamafuta and wait.
Tindonga Yamafuta, terminal reserves. Countries resort to reserves.
The reserves.
Iraq Kenya chebadde tukola. Temulabanga kekifaananyi. Kenya yasiba amafuta gafu. Idi Amin yagamba nti Uganda yali ekoma Naivasha. Nebaga nti dictator agala tu. Niba blocking achi. Border.
Yeah.
Wamala okubreaking a border. Habyarimana najja because it was land locked. Habyarimana najja to arbitrate between the two. Amin yavuga gari ogenda ku airport. Temulaba ekifaananyi kya Amin nga
yes.
That was a fuel crisis.
Okay.
Kakati mukitegeere nti gundi, that's the politics. As long as every time we get events in Kenya, we suffer.
We suffer here.
You suffer here.
Yes.
You don't have reservoirs.
But the Kenya we begin Mukaruru. We suffer here. We actually took what to
store? What is our Ministry of Planning? When you are landing, you must be powerful. That's why I'm telling you. Rwanda, Uganda, one of us will dominate
the other.
Abaserikale ba Zimbabwe bagende Mozambique ne bakuma beira gundi okuyita ebintu byabwe. What brought the downfall of this man in Gambia? Jahama uyu gundi Zambia wa Gambia ekyamusula kyali ki Gambia bajigezaako jigatta ne Senegambia efuuke Senegambia ne Senegal ne Kigaana ku Ssajjawala. Kakati Senegal eyina ekitundu kyayo ng'okukituukamu oyitawa mu Gambia. This man closed that route.
Okay.
Nagana twakisiza Senegal
okuba ziyitawo
kuyiba anti ziyitawo. What did the Senegalese do to finance this man? And you remember, even the swearing in, this man gave from Senegal. The recognition government was in Senegal.
Yes.
Not in Dakar. Why? Movement of goods.
Tutwemesa kuba tutamuza ebyaffe.
The country must be powerful.
Must be very powerful. Okay.
Militarily. If the terrorists are disorganizing your railway, let us send the troops to guard the railway.
You're landlocked, you know, Kubanga or Inamanya.
Kubanga Kakati, the Kenyans, their problem now is like here. The vice president and the president are fighting.
But in the Tamale, why don't we stop interfering in Kenya politics?
They are fighting. Anti Kakati Kuburi, Singamo Bademu in our planners. The only planner in Uganda, Nabaga is a weather forecast until it is a good. Yes, because Kenya have been voting and we have been experimenting that events in Kenya help us. What would we do? All of the fuel tankers would go to Dar es Salaam.
Okay.
We relocate them to Dar es Salaam. That would be a strategic planning for the Ugandan government or to have reservoirs.
Tamale, wano omusajja yavaayo gundi Captain Mike Mukula okuba nti azimba vessel egenda kuba nteeka amafuta n'ogamba tate
agiteekako kabaka Mutebi
kati vessel kale sazo singa vessel tetuyamba singa vessel sazo tetuyamba
no much about Mukula can be even in hiding. I know Mukula. I know problems of Mukula. What
government yekoze ekyo kuba tekola vessels ngezo amafuta gabere gayita ku mazzi
kakati gwe bwobula abawasa muwalawo kyokola omulala wokukyalo n'omwambaza bulungi
nedda ssebo.
Yes,
kale
this is a tanker that was done by Mukula who has also strong links in Kenya to transport crude oil to defeat the pipeline. This is the Kenyan alternative that can we access the Kenyan, the Ugandan. Amafuta ge Kenya is an export of oil. Does it go mu pipeline?
No.
It goes by trucks.
Yes, by trucks.
Yes. Kakati Mukula yali connection ne Kenya.
Akuba pipeline.
The Kenyans are sitting down. Ngamu baba bakubinazi. Nabaganti Bidco company Nicholas Reward.
Ye Kenya.
It has never originated from Malaysia, as they indicate. And it
is a Kenyan company?
They have 3 companies there. None of them originated from Malaysia. Let them raise their grey heads and I defeat them with the documents. Tiwari.
Okay.
Kakati nkugamba nti Mukula's strategy ye Kenya. The Kenyans are smarter. Okay, we have lost the largest percentage of oil can go through the pipeline to Tanzania. But can't we get money from these sleeping dogs? Let Mukula create a chitanka na yenga na yatu wala kurudu koi. Was he going to transport what? Achiteka kwa kabaka. Why don't we put it name it gundi? Emori. Niba Mukula batula. But was that if we never got we were stupid, was that chocolate? No. This thinking can be done. Having humiliated me for 8 years, abana bange bakulia mu bugubi. Family yange negulia mu bugubi. Nga kusibu werata. Ntakumala kujja okufukamirira. Nange kankumye kyosinga okwagala. Anti wagala bwa president nanka mbukube sijja kujja. Nanka kwate tape nziwe. Ijugo likuli mu mutwe. Kandi gani?
An eye for an eye.
I'm playing games with the Tamale Mirundi. Am I a village guy? I know he will come. Let us sit down on man. No. My family, if we have been eating mukene for the last 8 years, mukene, we are used to mukene. Because this is where we put us. If my children are going to poor schools for the last 8 years, they are used to poor schools. Why do I come in to help you? Let me surrender all of the tapes and the video tapes to the ICC investigation. Now we go you. Now I could make your single quarter. I don't understand. Why do you believe that when it comes to you, every person should panic to help you? When you have suffocated somebody's family, who never did anything to you? My mother asks me, nothing. Project and take a Mwanda where Yengo Lugosi. I become in Panama. So, kakati mukula ye group ya.
Group M.
Nti mukula believes the Kenyans are smart guys. The moment you allow one ship, the Ugandan goods were transported by steamers. What mukula is trying to do was done by Sai's Bell.
Okay.
Who created the port bill. Nti Kenyans are saying, how can we snatch a certain percentage of their crude oil? Kakati mukulaze strategy bajaga banga yeri akatageze
pipe
and you praise him
enough of the oil issue
na akili
muzee Tamale enough of the oil issue katugide ku nsonga y'okuba nti
ate oyo munamukolaje
issue tugimaliriza tugireka
tudde mutambule
tudde mu to work
nkubuli if it is a Kenyan strategy nabagamba I'm happy that you are normalizing relationship with Rwanda. Because me, I believe the Rwandese, President Kagame, you face a problem, one of sovereignty. Africans don't understand sovereignty. Nabaganti one time, President yali alambula Kabale, nakulosi into Rwanda, batu isabu binyo. Na reason bamukwata ne mumbu konti alina peace. I explained to Museveni's diplomacy did not believe him. Crossing from Kabale to Rwanda had immediately arrived in Kigali, he entered the conference. Are you entering your country? He would go back to Kampala, drive to Entebbe, board his presidential jet, and land at Kanombe International Airport and inspect the guard of honor.
Yeah.
That would mean that you protected their sovereignty.
The sovereignty, true.
But driving, unless you are driving together, there was a time when the president drove through Kenya to Tanzania. He was strengthening the unity and agreed position. And he made stopovers addressing the people, but he was stressing. I've been talking, we are trying to formulate, to revive the East African community, not talking about Uganda's dominance. Every country is very concerned about sovereignty.
Sovereignty yayo.
Kakati echokubira olina okumanya. The President Kagame naye himself suffers an inferiority complex.
How?
Anti yali junior. Si yali Rwejema. Yali director wachi. Military intelligence. Under who? Abaserikale bano tebamumulanga kakati basale bati yefunza baani yali junior waabwe omanyi the junior issue does not go no. I think this part explains the conflict between 210 and century. When I saw Saleh for the first time, it was an aged of Saleh. Kati if the two I involved in the border
on our 2010 at junior
the conflict can arise. So kita tabamu punishing yagamba nti Uganda
manyimu bagino babiri bokka
Museveni nani
ne Kayihura
but Kayihura was an aide
a junior to two
abaganda bagagwera bine je wali ondabye ubana kola ke uwo ngandi ausigala
byagwa
then you find me somewhere forget about my being a what.
But
girl. Once you move with it, no. Some people don't want to be reminded about their history.
True.
I think these younger people, can relate to President Kagame more than the senior army officers.
Tugenda kuja kusoma ya Rwanda.
Go to him.
Tugenda kuja kusoma ya Rwanda.
Nabaga nti oyo omwana ayebale bamulwanyisa. Ayebale is celebrated yava mawuli. Yakolanga marketplace. Is related to Mugwezi. Yawasa manyina wa Mugwezi. Oyo ayebale bali bamusi.
Ensonga katugire ddala ensonga eyo Rwanda talks zazzemu okuba zirizuminga era atandise okuba nti atugidde ekigali
nti ayebale bamulwanyisa era babadde bamukuba ayebale yabaleetera egundi nabagamba nti mu Uganda baataddemu a scientific monitoring station eya UN bali bakyogeddeko
mu Uganda no weeri.
Yes. UN yagirito yayebali yagirito not mentioned anywhere, but if it was done by Kabonero all of the newspapers would cover it. That's why enkoko eri amagi That's how I can describe you. You have created a celebrated diplomat. But because he does not come from certain families, he must be under the command, a European commander. That's what I rejected. I have the brain, you give me a budget, I operate, I never work under anybody. Playing a role of name to pacify Burundi. Yes, was leading the delegations.
Okay.
But you are like a papyrus. A papyrus, Abaganda Bagan, Amazi the Gasa Jago. No, Amazi, a papyrus, Teteman Ambazi, Ukula Munkul. If this young man, Ayebali, was a Kenyan, a Nigerian, would be single monitor, single monitor, whatever Bukuba story. Some people are going to sue government. Do we have a right to education in Uganda? Which provision of the constitution has the government violated? Mr. Editor of the Monitor. 2, in a free economy, do we have, if we cannot have a minimum wage, can we have minimum school fees? Why? You have the brain. We are saying they are looking for publicity. If there is no minimum wage, how can you have minimum school fees? It's free. You go, some schools are international, some schools, even in the secondary schools, tell you a ceiling of school fees. What are you suing for? To get what government is entitled to you, has given to you. When some people go without food, is there a provision in the constitution that everybody should have free education? It was Museveni's initiative. Is it guaranteed in the constitution?
Okay. Chokoza kugamba mzee Tamale issue yango tuze kushuya Rwanda Ayebale and the Muhozi chokoza nti the young tax basobola kubona balagana mu President Kagame resolving issues in Zimbabwe
and nkubolira when you send Sale to Rwanda as a person who did the international relations who salutes the other
Kagame has to salute to Sale because yali junior we.
Let me give you a similar scenario. Amini yakwata omusajja ne Makerere yali awandika the white pumpkin akataba white pumpkin Amini namukwata the British government moved in to save the man. Amini was saying I'm going to execute him, but the white pumpkin bagikwata wa muntu ngagitaipinga. This is why if you were an author and you don't know how to type, we're in problems. Umuzungu yali tamanyi
kutayipinga
kakati agitwalewo omuntu
amutayipingireko.
Amindi's was intelligence was very efficient yabawanga sente naye bano abayiso sente zayiso olujja bano bagula ebizimbe bano abaana abali
ku ground bakola emirimu
badiso ne badda ku bubuizi bw'abantu. How can you have an intelligence organization that is poor? Miso ebyuma government esobola beside kubikulia data every day to monitor everybody bakwata yobo katika robots ba conversation na meeting ne video gun nenjiko miso ida staff erete baba tewali staff wa miso ina kamanda wayo ne direct ebisigadde for replace personnel technology bababba bumba mu miso
tebayerimba
limba miso ina abantu aba
babiri
for us for me I replaced the personnel bebasobola okunyaga n'okugula sente
technology
nabalabanga baba n'onyambo cannot operate these machines, cannot do what, can't we buy the people who work which nkirimu can you buy me?
Tekisoboka.
Tewali miso yababula tebanga yakulima nti wa miso kakati nkugamba ti failure to give sufficient intelligence you are saying abayalaba nate bazijjawo sente zigenda kuwa kuona mbega teziriyo alina kujjayo piso nti wayisa ba abantu and in the process tafuna
information ni buli omu amukola ki
kubanga zino sente bazibye bo bananyinisi bagula ebizimbe. So how can you steal money intended for drugs? Intelligence is the drugs of the country which is sick. Nemuzibba nemugula ebizimbe nti baba n'abaana bajja kukolera bwereere n'abaana baŋŋamba bw'ontwale wa muzeeyi mubuulire ebituufu naye bano ffe bye tubawa kubafunire ennyota tujja bibamu. This is the problem. They rather sell them the information the people they are supposed to kubega than giving these people information who stole their money.
Okay.
Eso yokka yekola wano ekigadde bifu bamitalite gye baani bonna bakubaani why yasuulyamu sikandozi ddamuliro olwo kubanga ddamuli yali badde anoonyezebwa waliwo omusajja wano mumanyi waliwo ali wano wano wenyini mu kitundu muno ate gomya abantu mbwaseemwayi akuba abantu emiggo nazaala we n'enkoko ye tetunulwako simanya ate nazaala we yamuteeka mumanyinamukuba ebifaananyi nga 10 njagala mumutwalayo namutwala wa pulezidenti kayolenga kamunye kagenda nekambala kabeera wano akakasajja kabeera wano kabeera mu kitundu muno naawe kabeera wawo wano gwenyini wano mweriya katigomeza abantu kaseemwayi. What I'm telling you, Idi Amin yalina efficiency gundi omuzungu bamukwata kati abangereza bagenda bakola ensobi nga muje mukola baleeta General Blair eyaduumirako Amin n'okutaatiiti as an insult. You know what, how Amin humiliated the man? Because who is supposed to salute the other? You are the head of the state, yes, but I commanded you. I mean, I'm not saluting only. Okay, play a chocolate. Okay, play saluting a high commissioner of Bungereza. Never was. I don't know state. The young gamba demu. Katichamu kubira. Overdom kubiranga me commander. You are not given the propaganda. Okay. Okay, play kubira. Salute. High commissioner of Bungereza. Jambo sa. Kakati Amin yakola. Humiliating a General Blair. He saw it as an insult. The Asian people, the British thought that the man who could convince Amin was his former commander. The former commander way. Okay. Amin looked at it as an insult. Why? Auntie, what will you want to go back to midday? Oh, Bamutumi Kuibaya and Fugako. Amin wanted to prove to General Blair. Cutting NATO or not NATO. Now. Amin again, they were wasting there. Nibamuzimbira mukasisi ngaka yangu kalibeka General Blair yingira mu ayavula yamini bamuzimbiramu General Blair yingira mu ayavula nenga bebifana yaba kamera bayina we bakubira nga General Blair ajja ayavula kwa Amin tokera banga nakiraba General Blair yagenda mu Arua nibamuzimbira mu nsisira oyo janga nga General Blair ayina kwavula okulaba Amin. Amin n'agamba nti mbadde na mu kisiibo naye olunaku lwange alwonoonye abadde akyuma omwenge omanyi nti ffe twakulya emyaka gy'ensanvu nga tulina ebigambo ebi bibiri. Amin used to coin things. Omwenge baguyitanga Blair. Amin yagamba General Blair yabadde agunya omwenge humiliate him more amuyingiriza mu kasisira nga yavula. I'm going to if the British government believes that I'm still the soldier you commanded, I'm head of state, you're much humiliating. Okay. I mean, at Yagana Blair Yagam. Why would you say by him? I mean, in Agan to Runakuru and get food day. Such as that Java Dutch, to walk up with a Blair Kajan sound. For moving at Mita Wakuya, Wakuya, Minister wa Harris, Nadukane Sind. I mean, Nagam, Wakuya, you sent Zabantu. Would you be a Nangi? Mita Wakuya, carry the edge. But I mean, monitored. I mean, in fact, when you read the book, we in Uganda, Hokobori, to any of the Tanzanian officers captured the state. Bureau, Research Bureau, they found a lot of information that was being discussed by Tanzanian top security. Money. To open the wallet. Money. Have infiltrated the all criminal gangs Money, I give them money. Money, pesa, pesa. You cannot plan to assassinate me nga simanyi.
Kubanga oteekamu.
Nteekamu. Programu zange nzimaintaininga nti. Sirawo. Nzimaintaininga nti. Sina a single coin from government for 8 years. Official.
Okay.
My allies in the government can give me here and there. Even if you were telling imotoka izo impotent ozabaji mpajenji take on number plate. Ezange. Ate mafuta ate
bati chali ebe chali iyo.
Nze njoza dereva
kanika service iyo
muwala wense kati yani.
Iyo.
Kati mumujifuna mukimu. I did political science, this is a tag. Temusajjo ya chali waffe. Mulaba omukazi kakati nenjizayo. I'll find a way bakwatira. What are you planning? Wacho
jikomyawo.
Nchimanyi nasoma political science. Nti omukazi kasobola banga kanyugidde empetayo otegere obufumbo bufu. But otherwise, how can you maintain a vehicle without fuel? Without feeding even the driver, without giving him allowances? Kitegezo yuyange kati. Yes. Kakati nkugamba kyekyo. We are discussing nti if you go and send Ajevali, you get more from President Kagame than when you send Sale, putting a fools. Who still see him as
their junior
of the same one. This is a problem. Nti afeki nezenawo bonna balwa nokuba Ethiopia. They use the same currency initially, but they fought to bloody war.
Okay.
Why did the Afeki and the Zenawi, who fought together in the bush to defeat Ogundi, the Ethiopian dictator, on Ogundi, Edukira mu Zimbabwe? Lwaki balwanaga? Sovereignty. We are independent now.
Okay.
How many countries? Senegambia yaremu. When we go to Sibajitani, is an Arab country. So kati waliyo n'okulwanaga kw'amaanyi eryawo bordering ne Saudi Arabia. Yemen. These were called satellite states. The Americans created a state and the Soviet Union created a state. North, South Korea. South Yemen, North Yemen. Pakistan is Bidi. Eastern Pakistan and Western Pakistan, which became Bangladesh. Bangladesh was West Pakistan, East Pakistan. Kakati, when they united Yemen, a representative when they say they fought together. Yemen ended up annexed, and that's why they are fighting. There was a proposal here to form Ugatanza when Tanzania invaded us. Ugatanza. How can you form a unit when the population is against it?
Kali.
So the things are being relaxed. Once you take it there, they are friendly Muhozis. Once you get take it there.
Mbebaza mwana yokumide Quest TV aba social media platforms nga Facebook na YouTube mbebaza kuba no kwemuli nebaza omukulu Moses omune banno wale Somalia Mogadishu mbalaba kwemuli mutugoberera wamu no mukyala mama ajala bali ebungereza naye mproba ko tugoberera ayagala okuba nti noterera nobango temagana bulungi ngonyirire kirevunga okwegunyira bulungi so jalo saluni jowere makindi yawo weri wamu no kuba muzeyo oro kwalika ko bulungi ka baby face nga kamze Tamale Brenda Beauty World ne bakola ko bulungi noterera nodda ku muzulu abagala amasuuti
yitugaina
bakoli bati
bagamba nti omuku bakyala bange yagatunda
gwenkubire nebo ogenda ku masuuti
ato koma ku masuuti ojja kwekika byotasobola
bagala ku masuuti agome ku masuuti tayongezako bida
naye ekikazi kino kyatuvumye famire yange kino kifulufiga olwo olutalo am not going to listen to anybody nti sijja kikuba kizimiteriyo
ogenda kukola ki
mbagambye omulalu do you know that many markets are guarded by former balalu bamala bakuba ne batereera
abalalu
buli katale kakumbibwa mulalu bemigo n'atereera
nadda mu nnomo
yes nadda mu nnomo we must teach this woman bakiwa sente nekivuma abantu nekiwemula nekikola ki I'm going to teach this woman. I said Even buttocks conduct themselves better than this human. Why? The anus. When you are in a group, the anus does not shout. See, naye bambuliribu obanga oli wekka kino kyasama bwasama eno kyasama nekivuma buli muntu nekivuma buli kati tagwe olidya n'ogamba ti omukazi ali ku muzigo musiru awemula bw'omutegevu n'odda mu nyumba abakuwe yawemula atya ebigambo byagera butebiyisika mukama kikibiyisaamu kiti bila ekikazi kino temutaasa for me once I declare war total destruction. Okay. Yes. Ekikazi kyavuma ne mmange nekivuma ne mukazi wange nekivuma kubanga kikula kanko bwekikazigweka bekikazigweka benkumalewo bw'oba nze champiyoni gw'okuvuma kikazigwe otuyitiriddeko akamwago gayitiridde omanye omwana nyoko bw'aba abadde tazaala n'agenda afuna oluzaalo kakati bw'afuna oluzaalo ne bamuwa emmumbwa emmumbwa waliwo emmumbwa ekolebwa mu luwaluko lw'abatamiivu batanywa mwenge abatamiivu banywa ttonto naddala enkenku bawaluka ku makubo kati waliwo emmumbwa gye bakola mu luwaluko lw'omutamiivu kati omwana bw'aginywera mu lubuto kiwaluko ekinyira waki yafuna emmumbwa y'oluwaluko. We shall teach you, we shall discipline you. Okay. We shall discipline you. You don't have any diplomatic immunity of abusing people, being hired. You are angry. Umukazi wange yangambye nti oba ekikazi wakikwanawo kiwunya akamu kiwunya ennyindo kiwunya ennyuma kiwunya ebuzibe kati nankwana kyaki noba tofuuddeko famire yange kikazi gwe enda kuba nkumalewo kakati katulabeko champion nze naawe ensika erabe champion when you argue with a fool you become a fool. No, this one needs discipline. Butulamba tukikubye kukiggala mamwa kigenda kuvuma buli muntu yenna because she's overwhelmed. Advisor alowooza nti tolaba Ssebaggala bamukwate mu America yeri alowooza nti owamuya diplomatic immunity to have a right to abuse everybody. Somanye follow blast buno busajja bwabukedde obutalina n'abantu bw'oba kiteekako nekyasama genda ovume famire endala kyagamba mamange mu malaaya nekiba mukazi wange bwatembeyo omwana wange nekigamba domi genda total destruction. Tobuli ebyo. I'm a diplomat when you talk of diplomacy. I'm a politician when you talk of politics. I'm logical when you talk of politics. I'm a very expert in vulnerability when you resort to vulnerability. Kakube kikazi kuja kumpulira temututaasa. Don't waste my time. Don't leave me. You wait the battle to be decided who will be the champion in abusing the people. Respect yourself. In fact, you are sensible. Your title requires respect. To get abafumbo ate gokuba mukazi wo gogalagamu gogalira abantu agamu okugala abantu agamu is it political mobilization to mobilize the people to need okugalagamu or to persuade. Do you get it? Are you sending your own voters from 7 or you are bringing them? What is your responsibility? But kijamukayu isimu kyajifunye mukabiri tuvola tekina orientation yonna butovu mawavumye family yaffe tujja kutunka kikazi kwe tujja kutunka katutunke you receive me nange ndi muvumi temututaasa kankube kikazi kino kijje ku maapu kiyitiddwe okuvuma ekuba Museveni my daughter naga nti daughter kandi Museveni abaana ba Museveni bagala amamwanga ggwe agenda noogera ebyobulemu nga ggwe niba kijjewa kyakulira mu kiti oba mu lyato.
State House. State House. Tawali tulina ensonga twakoze kwano ku Sunday y'omusajja eyabadde atugumira abantu beegundi. Next ensonga ezo State House naba buli abalina power
n'abakyalingize ne mbagamba. The woman made a statement. A provocative statement. A statement poignant with a lot of meanings. Several presidents bwekibanga gwosindika musajja watubba ebibanja byaffe atulemeredde yangu otuyambe naawe otusasulireko. Has there been a response? Has Nakalima pounced on this man? Has the police pounced on this man? The information I got is that the LC1 chairperson yadduse chairperson w'emawale yadduse dda ekibanja kakiramuliza ku nsiko. Oye embuga yekola. How can you sell a chibanja and your site when the chibanja is out of your jurisdiction?
kituufu
ate tekamenya mukwate abeero sikambabuli the minister of local government bwekifo kyokubbira sente mu stamp yali kutta abeero sinaabatwala mu makomera. Do you know that many LCs chairpersons are in prisons over the same issue?
Yes
nti basayininga
bakola endagaano
ezitali mu bondi
mu bitundu byabwe.
Why should the chairman sign alone? Why should I pay you when the whole committee is not assembled?
Commissioner
mwalonda obukubi bw'emisota ku kyalo obufukola obuli bw'embizi obukola ki obukeera n'olukootikooti ne butabaala ebyalo banne bakola yasigala ku kyalo obwali si yabufuula omulimu katemye n'olukooti lwako. Just mentioning him kati challenge nti ekyo ekisajja kyabagamba
Masemba Amidu
Museveni yakiwa sente kigulira abazanyi sikagame nikinini tumukibuzeeko obulamu
State House akolera State House munnange
bwakolera
State House Masemba Amidu wali awo office eri Kanyandaawo
the police, the OC police would arrest this man.
Ate
when you arrest him, mujja kufunamu muyina kikwata kirunu mutesuba emigwa nekimala okusasula cheque zonna ez'abantu. When he goes to court, he will be bailed.
Abambanja bangi nnyo
mukifuna bufunyi ekiri mu nyumba kimale kusasula sente bekibbye sente kisasula cheque kukitwalanga mu lusaalu tugendekera ku mucanga kiri mu coffin kitulula kiti sign checks. Tell your wife to bring the checks here.
Okay.
Kasa mutwala mu court ngaawe
kituufu
amutendekeye tajja basaso
kale nze Tamale tuyina ensonga eyagudde mu bwakyabazinga bwe Busoga.
That is simple.
Ensonga eyo abakulu abamu ba chiefs bamu ne bagamba gabuula sigwe n'okuba ku ntebe bamulanga okuba nti nno tasula mu lubiri tabawa kitiibwa yajjawo n'ensonga yokuba nti obwakyabazinga bali bakyusa every 5 years bakyusa yabijjawo byonna.
The constitution of Busoga says there must be 11 Balangi.
Yes.
The quorum is 8 Balangira. And the meeting must be presided over by a Sabalangi.
But about the 6?
You cannot that's why I cannot waste time.
But who's behind?
Bagamba nti abasoga bayineekizibu bakazi be babafuga 2 ministers nti abasoga balinga balokole abalokole ekibaleetedde obuzibu kulowooza nti owa State House ne UC kinene nnyo bagundi basabira gendi ennyo nga nalyokwaleetawo anybody can get a police omugundi kagundi Kayanja n'azimbira abapoliisi buli awasize wakayanja nga akula akyalisadde yafuna enyota. So if you bond the government, the future, be independent.
True.
Kaganda bana abasoga nti waliwo faction eyo namuganza faction ya kadeba foreigners bayingiramu. You don't need Chabazinga was created in 1919 because the British feared to talk to 5 stubborn basoga chiefs.
Okay.
Kakati ate kati kyemukoze nti bano olw'okuba baavu kati namuganza afuga. Omukazi afuga atya kabaka
tekisoboka
niwawo n'omulala afuga kabaka nonna afuga kabaka musumba ye ayambala mpale nyimpi mpale mpanvu kubanga abasoga bafiira mu UPC kati sabakulusinga okuva mu DP wali wasigaddeyo kyesiimira. I don't know why Kyesiimira does not have a son in politics. Kyesiimira bamusiba mu kkomera ku detention order yagaana okuyingira UPC teni basoga bayingira UPC kakati ne bafiirayo.
Okay.
Family zaabwe zaafa tebajjayo mitwe kakati as a result abakazi be baliyo basibesala wandira kazibwe bakadaaga bano bagundi bamusumba bandi be badominatinga Busoga kati as a result n'abaagala okutawanya Busoga
bayitira
namuganza bwafuna pulobulemu ze mu minisita ya lands agenda n'akola trap Museveni amuyita abatabaganya bukedde kivaawo kakati kankubuuza if you look at the nose who burnt the school abasaba eri abaana abayokeddwa bizuuse kakati if you don't arrest Bukedde then turn Bukedde into iso kubanga Bukedde is more informed than but what I know about Bukedde that the criminals divert you using Bukedde. In fact, if you are an investigator when you read Bukedde put it aside, that's rubbish.
Minister ya ICT yasabye n'obumbi bubiri okuteeka mu vision group bazzeewo essente zaali bagenda okuberamu bigana kukyogera wanene ng'abantu bagamba ebyo tebiriyo basalira obumbi bubiri okuza mu
but what pains me nti nemukwata ssente za gavumenti nemusasula omusango gwammwe nemulya bulungi nemukola mutya ng'abaana bange bakaaba kubanga nakola mwali mungoba didn't you know nti I needed me what type of balokole are you? I hear you balokole nti for you mujevuna mukwata ssente nemuzijja eno kati mwaguze baloya abalala mukoze mutya but it is will you start me into submission? It cannot happen.
Obawemye
I wasn't will start me into submission. I'm harder. I harden more. Kati kutambi na ruwayo kati munziti nenga babujozi nabaga sijja buwayo ate sirigenda hega kubalumirira no, he must come to me and kneel before me and take who are you? Are you king? Are you king? Are you the last king of Uganda? Is the world coming to an end? One day we shall see you.
True.
As we have seen other people. Ujoge sigososo kujoga abantu ndibafitira bali
Mzee Tamale nga tuva ku nsonga ya bwakyabazinga n'obuzibu obuli eyo ndabanja ogatta ensonga y'obwakyabazinga ensonga ya oil ensonga kati ensonga ya masomero okuba
kikika simalingi omuli okuva ku ssente emu nekufubutukire ojjako main switch. This is what they want to mean, that the country is in chaos. That Museveni is losing control. Even the doctors are coming.
Yes.
If we resume full classes, the teachers will go on the strike. So it is simmering. The fire is coming. The man has lost control. It is only in Romania. We have Sesco. We have 99% Mukalu. Within 3 months, Bamutani Mukazuwe. I mean, Mutamani, we are doing the special forces. Sesco. Nay, a Chidibanga Chiviaka. How can you tell me? I think I am 7. Babala. Tell of these 2 months, let them come early. By the time we finish it, quite an advantage. Never going to Museveni. We cover him get away and send him later. He can be a coach play. Kadesabwala, Yelimusaje Zambi.
Yeah,
Kaushamu, Gabugan. Museveni is eligible for coming back. Similar organization, the battle is inside the palace.
Okay.
Abantu tebayinza kukolimira bonna nga buli omu akolima alla n'akuwa ebirungi alla abatayigiriza abantu kubanga genda kumakya negende waffe mu nsozi neefuma ebyo timange nambuuza naye wabakola ki abakujonjesezza okutuuka awo nebakola ki nebakuba emiggo nebakola ki omuntu omu nakujooka nakujja mu mpale nayakola akwambule mu mpale nandaweya let us go.
Okay. Mzee Tamale, ensonga y'amasomero. Ensonga gyetwatwogerako y'amasomero okuba nti nno abawala bavudde ne bagenda mu kkooti nga bagamba nti ebisale by'amasomero birinnye enkandago basaba requirements nnyingi. Waliwo issue y'okuba nti nno era abaana abalina embuto gavumenti evadde ku masomero naye balijasezi bannaddiini bagamba abaana tebandigeze ku masomero wamu n'obwakabaka bwavuddeyo nga
how can a Munadini come and talk about tomorrows? When the other day, one of their celebrated archbishops was about to narrate. You should be hiding your heads. You just need us. Lie low. Muyesunga yaje mu Uganda mwate abangilikani church tajjayo omwana abeera waliwalira mwetabalaba mwe mwebere ku mwezi nga musajja wammwe generali bamukwata kumudde nalemera nemunazaala basajjamu temwogera ku mwezi musirike ebiri mu church tubimanyi musirikire eddala teri kankubuli teri mwana ina courage. In fact, it was a creation of government.
Yep.
If they do not talk about pregnant girls,
yep.
Abana abayina embuto za lunaku lumu. Yes, some will produce babies.
Yes.
Bebasoose kuga mu Uganda temubeeranga mbeera efunyisa abaana basomanga bafunye embuto.
Si kyo kisoose.
Yes. Abaana bafunye embuto bamala kuzaala ne baddayo.
Yep.
Naye buli omu n'ayogera kati byagala kubba. Nalabye Wangirikani kyaki agamba. Mukunganye obwana bwonna obuli kungulu n'emitima gyabwo bannange nituleke mugira mwogera ebintu nga abakyalina baali musaali bati kuku nga mwebakolera akibisobora kanisa tagama njo obwana obuli bwonna bwindabawo bijja tufugira ekizibu banuza emitima obanga ogwe ebintu ebyo mubirekere ensi mubirekere ensi baganda bange mbabuulira nti waliwo ekintu wotuya n'ogamba ti ekkanisa kati okwogera ku moral issues
tesaana kwogera
tesobola era nze ngamba
ekkanisa tesobola kwogera naye n'okwogera
ngamba anti kakati tukuleeteraani tukuleetera celebrated generali ntagali likumeze ate akutukidde namunansana nopo
tukome ku nsonga
wakiri yalifunye akola mu kyaki kubanga paza bwayagala omusisita bayinza okubibikako naye nafuna ate erikomusa ate erinonyomu omwono omanya abawano tebalimu abazungu bakikuba esasi
bamugjawo
abazungu nti ogenda kuswaza ekanisa muso ngaoswaza yani
bakugjawo
abazungu bakusanga oyasabye abazungu abaswaza togenda kuswaza ate gundi bamugira waki dokita manya Diana yagenda ofunye olubuto ku musiraamu mutabani wa Alifayedi bamumadde obutuuze mu Bungereza omwana we yagenda okubeera kabaka nga yakulya Angirikani kyaki ng'ozaala omusiraamu bamugjawo
kituufu
walaba Benzi bwe yafiirwa egwebbeeyi Benzi eri nga bw'oba ogenda okutomera eno kisefu baga kivaayo yavaayo yadolere tampa tuwiziti obanga abaabukedde baagala nnyo okulungamya eddiini batubulire ku basalafu abali embizi tulabe obakulubya nesebba wensingo bazituuseeka bakube mu mawulire gaabwe enti waliwo abasalafu abali embizi tulabe obakulubya olugongo olwo nesebbowa mutuukeeka bajooka balokole ekereziya nabakuba ne bagivaako naye olabayo omusiraamu gwe bakubako bakuba muzaata eyafedda bakuba ku lusuumu naye kulubya bwoba oli musajja nesebbowa mu ndaba mukube ku basalafu abali empizi olabe kulubya ngaensinga ogituuseeka nesebbowa
abakulu bavuddeyo abalwanira ebyenjigiriza nga badduse paka mu kooti nga bagamba nti school fees ebisinga ku masomero government regulations.
Why don't they go to court and ask the government to stabilize fuel prices? Why don't they go to, you see, to go to court means is the right, but you cannot go to court in a free economy. These are the most stupid people in Uganda's history.
Abagenze mu court.
The politics of activity and the politics of what? Politics of activity, achievement. Politics of activity, Musea Vita Kugumas. Why do you, under which constitution of Uganda? You can only go say, the government of Uganda has given us money to pay for school fees. But the headmasters have not, in addition to what the government gave them, I asked me specify the schools as let me specify nti omumba gwa mwemmere mu primary guli ku masomero gano mu secondary guli you cannot do it, which means tulina wobawaabira gwe omwana w'omugye mu ssomero nakugamba nti bansaba million 5 saddamu I have the money but you a thief. I cannot bring into my family something that will cost me 5 million per term. Ngate gutoyasaba obwongo bwa mwana n'oteekamu obwongo bwe. Omwana ayitidde omwana amagezi ge. Gaba magezi ge. Yes. Bwekiri. Bazadde bo tebakimanyi. Gaba magezi ga mwana. You gain by going to a good school association. Nti wasoma ne baagundi. Mwana bakuwa business. At one time president yasoma nabe entale egindi ekyamati ne Dar es Salaam babadde afugana beggwanga. This they know.
Okay.
Yes. But 5 million. Kyeyagalira ebbali yanjola baganda baga kyeyagalira ebbali yanjola. Omuganda omukazi abeera n'ebiseera kati artificial biseera zenjola bazikuukyako buukya n'akambe kati yefu bwotana abaganda baga kyeyagalira free economy. How do you go and sue?
Naye abamasomero mbadde mbasaba tubeere benkanya tubeere n'ekisa. Waliwo omuzadde yavudde n'ayogera nti yatuse kusomera musaba teachers sacco fee omusomesa omuzadde abasobole teachers sacco fee emitwalo 5.
Kati kankubuulire you go to another school kuba kati kankubuulire
walosomero sigenda kwatukiza baganda bange basiraamu walosomero abaganda bange basiraamu sigenda lyatukiza nende ya saruna ey'Enkumi 3 emitwalo 2 tubeere fair.
Go to another school.
Ensi yonna buli omu ali buli.
Go to another school. It's a free economy.
Obasabeyo nze nveeyo
ogende gy'osanga
gyenja
kankubuulire abagulamu owino amaduuka tebagayitako.
Bagayitako?
Yes. Bo bamuwino. Omusajja nze mbabuuza bulijjo nti gwaguleyo ekirengente oligimalayo ddi? Golooza agule omutwe gw'ente tamanyi nti magumba.
Agule ekirenge. Okay.
Once you complain about something, it means you've gone beyond your level. Kakati nze Nairo nzimanyi muserena simanyi mutwalo gw'omwami nkebera ku cupa nti alcoholic content nga nfuluma naye bali
bakubbira waawo
okutunda ebbeeyi lwaki tulesi yaabwe to maintain the building to pay saloons nazo zaawukana nti the rent the what nakuba bwe mba ntunda dollars zange I do work some countries mala ngenda wali muntu where the cost of operation
is low.
So kakati omuzadde musomesa agenda kugula kasooli obuwunga abustocking agula amata agastocking kakati ye kimugamba and this gundi fear of COVID of lockdown. Have we would ask the government, let the government assure us.
Ye government mutufu evere kubanga abazadde asinga kyakyo okutwala abaana ku kibaga mati tuwera okubateekayo ate batugalewo.
It is up to you kyemba kolera wadde means government nesasula. We go, the only security is to go for vaccination. Don't think that we are vaccinating yokumala oluwalo tusanyusa Museveni. No, to have this permanent gundi president yatukokonyaako n'atuwa a crop back. If you do this, I will do this. Museveni will tell you, by the time I open, figures are ways. By the time of this today, figures are ways. Should we continue? Because if we continue, everybody will be affected. The ball is in your court.
Okay. Now, before you come to your book, we're going to kubulira ensonga. Ogenda kujja kataboko. Tumaze n'ensonga y'abagundi. Y'okuba nti military yayidde mu kibuga okuba nti bagoba batembe. Kiosks zijjiddawo. Abantu bali basudira licenses zaabwe mu kiosks ate kati baveewo.
Nkugambe. When you see the military, the situation has gone beyond logic. When I see the military,
nga yiri mu kibuga okuba nti bagoba batembe.
I don't need to be explained. It would mean that when these people have become in Congo, our government has received the credible information that they want to intensify now attack. The Kampala.
Okujja mu kibuga. It was a directive of RCC wa Kampala Hussein Hood. Okuba nti ajje abatembe bave mu Kampala.
Ojja kuddukira Mbale bwali badduka. Toyinza kuddira musajja yavuma bubweni nemuleeta ekiwengene kakimu nemuteeka. He has, I don't know his academic paper, his academic standard.
Anange simanyi. But ebiremene bikolebwa essaawa zino. Directive ye.
Ye bamwekweseemu. Tamanyi nakiriwo oyo alinga mperekeze. You cannot summon emperekeze when you want to dissolve a marriage. Emperekeze by the time the marriage is consummated, the emperekeze are already asleep. This one doesn't know what is happening. But for me, when I see military, I understand. This is a serious future matter. This one means the government has received the credible information that as you corner these ADF people, they will sneak into the city.
Earlier back, waliwo omukulu yavaayo Enanga n'agamba n'awunika bonna Kampala. No. Kibe twogerako. Kyogerako kyennyini ekya terrorist. Nze kaka nompuliriza. Kyogeddeko ekya terrorist. Ye muyini yavaayo n'akirangiye nti bagenda kufuna attack wano mu Uganda. Tugenda funa attack on Uganda.
I don't need Enanga to tell me. I can tell you that when you see riot police, the situation has gone beyond the normal police.
Okay.
Era riot police omuserikale asooka n'akubasomera. It's reading the right act. Under this section of the law, this is an illegal rally. If you don't move within 30 minutes, then I will use the maximum force. Kakati is when I see the military, which is not a normal goal practice in Uganda. That when you see soldiers cannot come to remove goal.
Katono nnyo mzee katutereze mpaka nnyo tubenga tudda eddakiika emu yokka.
STV, select for fun.
In the land when it comes to youth entertainment.
STV, select for fun.
Ojja ku nsonga y'akatabo kale katufuna ensonga akatabo ko
ab'amagye nga bwe mbamanyi tebasobola kujjawo bintu. That would be military tejjangako. That would be state council, that would be the police. When I see the soldiers, I appeal to you people to move. Baveewo.
Peacefully.
Kitegeeza as ADF is cornered in Congo, esobola okuddamu gundi wano diversion netega bomu. Military tesobola kujja kubeera reduce ne bw'aba radisa afaanana ati tayinza ku reduce nga military mugoba batembeeyi.
Okay. Kale ensonga tulimaliza tugende ku nsonga
kati akatabo kankano ke nagiridde nabadde njagala naye tujja kasoma
tulina eddakiika zaffe zikyaliyo tukasome
kubanga
tusome kye tusomako
nti nabagamba kyembadde nsingira okwagala ennyo nti ndi wano mbagamba nti abaagala obusika bategeere bino. Katabo kano nakawandiika mu 2011 naye mbagamba nti mu nsi mulimu scenarios bbiri ez'obusika. The two scenarios, one is where the incumbent can either voluntarily retire or is first of power. The latter scenario implies that he will have no role in determining the success. Gaddafi talina succession role. Gundi talina succession role.
Ani
Owekatumba.
Okay. Bashir.
Yes. But if you are a comfortable president like Museveni, he is in position to choose a successor. Nga Uhuru bwakoze. Yes.
Okay.
The two scenarios.
Yep.
The voluntary retirement is such that the incumbent remains in a strong opposition to influence and determine the success. If they, under this prevailing situation we have in Uganda, like the Kenyan situation, it naturally follows that an incumbent cannot cede power to somebody he does not know. Knowing in politics does not stop at somebody's name or face. It extends to historical bond. Experience shows that it is highly risky for an incumbent to entrust the power to somebody without a historical link. By this I mean a long time relationship. You must have guarantors who can invoke this historical bond if your successor turned hostile. Nelson Mandela in South Africa ensured that his close friend Thabo Mbeki succeeded him. President Kuwa Busaka inanga akumanyi. Siri nyali Tamale Mirundi. Ayina kuba ne historical
background yonga ina.
Nga ina kyali invoking mu future.
Okay.
Dala weefulidde omusajja oyo. This is why I have the support of the population. Omwana oyo yabakolera nnyo tebali mukoze
bwe batyo.
N'emmotoka amafuta ne bagajja, but it is zeros on one man.
Bwe kiri.
And you will pay. And wasn't nja kwogera project which I can meet. Secondly, a leader does not entrust power to somebody who can easily establish his own political power base within a very short time. It's advisable to incumbents to remain with some sort of influence in the government in the first 5 years following their retirement. This is because human nature loves freedom. It seeks to get out of the shadow of its predecessor and establish its own identity and legacy. A person who can easily establish a political power base gets new friends and easily hijacked by political opportunities of his new base. Government in political groups, utakuwa. Kubanga you can easily establish your political base.
Political base, okay.
Yes. Uhuru Kenyatta akugamba there will be a coach. Gundi Raila usually alokanti Raila n'agamba you follow the footsteps of Uhuru. Kakati mwechi kitegeeza. As he loses control in domestic affairs, it's going to be very dangerous on foreign affairs. Jagenda okulagira amaanyi. Kubanga Kenya is a player. It's only in foreign affairs where you see the real Raila. This is why I tell you that if we don't improve relationship with Rwanda, we shall be headed like a mango in a fix.
Kenya gena kuba etunyiga neno. Okay.
Lastly, a leader should hand over power to somebody who attributes the feat to the retiring president. You hand over power to a politic who somebody who feels that his success is attributed to you. This is what we call the politics of environment. Omuntu omuwange ekifo ng'ajja kisiima taba kuba oyo
sandi badde wano
ekitegeeza oyo takulumba. But when you say man, after all I'm educated, appointing me minister is not a big deal. Am I not a Ugandan? Have a constitutional right. Utumkwasa power.
Okay.
Tumkwasa power.
Okay.
Utumwa. However, even in tiny courts, abefura abo bamutawana. Even in tiny courts, or weak leaders are dangerous. They become an easy target for political manipulation by their opponents and try to prove that they are not dependent on retirement president. Katiraba muyaleka sente za Kinyata ne circulating nateka opportunity bill naganti mfata nyanyi until 86 emyaka 5 ngatana pa mushado za Kinyata ne cabinet ngajanyina kakati bajja ne bakugamba kakati gwe uli stuji wa Museveni walaba chiche chichuse. This is what is disturbing this woman in Tanzania. She failed to inherit ebintu bya Magufuli because is an accomplishing leader. Ntikalire kwoka kutoka tusawa
okatusaje kale
weta kudda kisawe je kyava kati agasse ebintu bibiri uyo omukyala agasse okunoonya bwa president bwe ye gundi ye budulaka yalowooza tamuzi bbiri kati namaliza munange mulwadde kati njagala yange mwajja mu embiiso tugo tugeze
kyekibonyamenya Samia Suluhu.
Yes. Avudde ku assignment. Assignment was an accomplishing
kumaliriza.
Yes. Not to stand we. Kuba tebakwagalangako oli yakuleetanga running mate. How are you sure that if you were given a chance, did you stand in the delegates conference of Chama cha Mapinduzi? Have you ever shown your face there?
Okay.
People don't understand politics. Nkugamba nti, however, A retiring president should never underestimate his successor's political abilities. People change. They are not static. As I pointed out earlier, there is no person who can accurately predict another person's mind. Many are pretenders. Furthermore, politics, money, and religion change people's attitudes and behavior. This is because they attract new friends with different motives. This explains why when people get money and power or get married, they change friends. In Kenya, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta and the Kikuyu Mafia underestimated Daniel Arap Moi. They believe that since Moi came from a small tribe among the Kalenjin, the Kikuyu, who had established a strong network within the government and in the private sector, would snatch power from him. They looked at Moi as a passing crown. However, outsmarted them by borrowing power and support from other tribes. Tebakugamba nga konti waliwo omuntu ava mu katribe akatono. Moi yali ava mu Bakalenjin. Seba n'ababiri kati bwe muba ne ssente muzaala nnyo abaana bakula.
Kituufu.
Naye omusajja yasuze enjala ng'agamba nti wayi jangu tukituuze palamenti.
Abatasobola.
Omuntu omugagga, sex is for mind, especially mind.
Yeah.
If you have problems, there is no sex.
Kituufu.
Tumubona abasajja bo mu kyalo balinga bazaala nnyo. Gwe n'ogaana okuzaala ate n'oweerera ababe. Why? Ye demand zire ntono. Omummonde gwe empale yagifunyemu n'agenda alima. N'akomawo.
N'akumako n'egenda mu katawuni.
Era nasese. Waliwo omusajja. We quarreled. Nkuleetedde amasuuti 50. Nenkugamba nti lunaku nja kutwalangako emwemu. Bwezisasula omulundi gumu. Nja kusasula naye siri. Oyina bakasitoma bameka gwe basobola okukuleeta essuuti 5. Ate yabadde alowooza nti bw'alemera essuuti 5 nina 5 nina 45. Ekitegeeza n'ezo ne bwenzikuwa.
Ne bw'ozimulekera tosala.
But where do you get busy in such many shapes? To have a person who can, to are signing the agreement, receipt, you take them once. They don't know. How many people come and collect their gold? I've told you I will pick one every day.
Every day.
Yeah, you never see me again.
Okay.
In Zambia, Frederick Chiruba underestimated Refi Patrick Mwanawasa. He was deceived by medical doctors that Mwanawasa would not complete his first term as president. Mwanawasa was a victim of a fatal accident that severely affected his abdomen. He reasoned, Chiruba, that if he became president, Mwanawasa became president, and gave him trouble, he would die within a short time. Therefore, Chiruba suggested that the new president be deputized by a vice president who would take over upon Mwaнаwasa's demise. But Chiruba would later pay heavily for this. Mwanawasa subjected him to a long and embarrassing court process where his underpants were exposed to the public. Most of his former allies were put behind the bars. Mwanawasa wished to remain and die his own man. He did not attribute his ascendancy to the presidents to Chiruba's role. Chiruba failed to understand that Mwanawasa, as a private lawyer, could not pay for his huge health bills, and the doctors had based their death period this fact. However, as the president of Zambia, who was waging a corruption crusade and forcing people to vomit what they had stolen, Mwanawasa's exorbitant bill became nothing. Niche yabakola. But Dr. Balimba Chiruba, nti omusajja ajja kuva mu myaka eki
ebiri
kubanga yamukolera accident. Kati emyaka ebiri nga bagibaliza ku ssente ze nga lawyer, private lawyer mu Zambia.
Okay.
Bw'afuuka president n'ateekawo anti-corruption crusade nga alina kwata baki
abanyaga.
Naddya nandaweya za Chiruba container yagireeta mu kooti naye president yadda mu nandaweya bwe bamwensolosozi bonna n'abakwata. Kati abantu batunuulira crusade ya corruption tebatunulira ssente zigenda kwani
Chiruba mu ddwaliro
nti Nakalema bw'abanyaga n'abanyaga budget temubuuza be yakatwala mu kooti ne bavaayo baliwo abo byakasiba baliwo amale complex byabo talina kakati ye abazanyira ku kino naye tabalaga nti ssente zammwe you give us ssente zaffe zigenda wa okuga amafuta What are your products? The problem is not staying, is not the newly married couple to remain, how long will they remain in the bed? Has the mugore conceived?
Yensonga enkulu.
Yes.
Tujja kutandikira awo olunaku lunaddako olwokubiri.
Naye ennumye nnyo eno.
Tujja kutandikira awo olunaku olwokubiri. Tujja kutugimaliriza bulungi.
Kubanga abantu bano kyenjagala okubalaga nti bye mulwanira
babirwanira mudda.
Bwe mulwanira obusika bulina principles. However much you want to turn something else. Obusika. Kakati gundi yayira akoze statement yaki.
Emu yokka.
I will fall the footsteps of Uhuru, but I will fight corruption. Ekyo kyekikulu.
I will follow. But I will fight.
Corruption. Kuba bannakenya ebaluma.
Sigala kubanga sikuwa ngenda kutamperekereza. Obadde mulabi mulungi. Nsaba Mukama abeerenga abankumira.
Uhuru alina okukalowoozaako.
Tusinkana olunaku olw'Essande mu
nti
programu y'embuga.
gwayita player nga ye coach